Okay, Cancer. I kind of feel like I've been channeling your energy of Cancer, Sun, Moon, and Rising sign today. Um, I woke up this morning, well, last night, I decided to really work on managing my time to make it work for me so I could be more successful in what I'm trying to do with the Creative Gypsy and other things in my life as well. So I had time set and alarms set all over my phone for a bajillion different things, trying to stay within this schedule that I created for myself, and I followed it, and everything has been flowing perfectly today. And doing this recording today was right at the time that I had set for myself. So the stress of feeling like I have to do so many things and not sure of how I'm going to get there was put at ease today because I planned ahead. And I'm also a Cancer moon. So I kind of feel like this is the vibe of Cancer in this moment of wanting to get their shit together, basically. And I feel like you have. You've gotten into this routine that you've created for yourself, and you're feeling very empowered because of it. Because we have the Three of Wands for the first week of February. So really, in your element, she is conjuring what it is that she wants in her life towards her. She's in control of what it is that she wants. She has a backup plan as well. She has two other wands in her belt just in case. She's prepared. She's prepared for whatever comes. She's planned for this. She knows what she's doing. She's starting to see the results of what it is that she wants for herself, or at least is feeling confident and in that space trusts that it's on its way. So this is a very powerful first week for you. And I really want you to really, feel what you're feeling in this moment and how empowered and how in control of and how in routine you are with your life. Really being in that element. Just really keep that in your mind this month. This is very important because then we have the Six of Swords. So we're starting to I kind of feel like this energy is making you feel like you can take on anything, and because of that you start taking on everything, or at least mentally start feeling like you can handle everything all at once. Or I only say mentally just because these are swords, but I almost feel like because Cancer is so caring, and is always willing to give and give and give, as long as people don't feel like, as long as Cancer is willing to be generous in any way possible to others, as long as they don't feel like you're taking it from them, like you're taking advantage of that generosity. You know what I mean? Like graciously accepting my generosity, awesome. Expecting it and taking advantage of it, no, I'm not having that. It's kind of like the Cancer way. So I kind of feel like this second week we're getting too generous of our time and resources with things that are not a priority for yourself. Or because you are in such a positive place where you have your priorities set, You start to think that now, like, I've got this routine set. Let me try to bring in other things that I've been wanting to work on for a while and I haven't been. So let's try to incorporate this into the routine. And I want to say that it's not the time yet. You know, you may have just recently started this new routine for yourself. You need to stay in it for a little while before you start bringing in other things. So you know how you can handle the way things are right now. Like if there's some kind of stressors just naturally coming in, you'll know how to handle it with the way you're handling the rest of your life right now. Do you know what I mean? Because if you start to bring in other projects and goals for yourself, and then like a natural life stressor comes in, it'll be too much, you know? So, really paying attention to what it is you're putting your attention to this month is important. So, the third week is suggesting that you're starting to get into this insecurity way of feeling. We have Page of Cups in reverse. So feeling insecure and then feeling kind of like this mental block or an emotional block, since it's cups, that makes more sense. So emotionally, so creatively feeling blocked, and however that works for you, your creativity, and whatever way you express it, you may start to feel like that flow is being blocked, feeling insecure, feeling like things aren't working out for you, getting frustrated, doubting yourself, feeling like I don't feel confident in my decision making at this point because I've taken on too much, around this time as well. So that's the potential of what could happen this month if you don't prepare yourself and be willing to say no to things that are not important for you in this moment. Because then in the fourth week, there's the potential of, so this is the Nine of Wands. And in this picture, she is backed into a corner, more or less backed into a corner, and she's used all of her wands. She has one left to go. She's been in this fight over and over again. And if she's got to do it again, she will. She doesn't really want to. She's exhausted and, just like, give me a break here. You know what I mean? She's very defensive, but also willing to fight back if she's got to. So I feel like this is a month for preventing patterns from continuing in your life. Doing too many things at once always ends up kind of falling apart in the end because, giving your attention to too many things, they can only go so far. But if you set things to the side and put all of your focus to one thing, it will blossom into this amazing thing that you've been wanting to have. And then, once that's, fully alive and its own like entity, I'm thinking of like career and projects and things like that. Once it's got its own thing going, then you can, reevaluate and be like, okay, so like, can I bring something in now that I've worked with this thing for a really long time? It's got its own routine, it doesn't feel like it needs my constant attention as it did in the beginning. Can I start to bring my attention to one other thing and then work with that also, instead of trying to do this, and this all at the same time? It's like, becoming too scattered, becoming overwhelmed, starting to doubt myself, like, stop, like not believing in myself, because you're not going to see the progress developing in the way that you want it to, because it'll be much slower. So then you'll start doubting yourself, like, is this really working out? Or any of these really working out? Do I have to get rid of all of these? What am I doing? So before we get to this point, how about we just stay here in this with what we're working on in the first week, and just leave it at that for this month. Any other things that come up, you really have to check in with yourself and your intuition. Moon is representative of Cancer and of intuition. Do I really have to take on all these other things? If it's other people asking you favors, say no. I have too much that I'm working towards right now, and I can't stop. I can't stop now. The fire is lit under my ass. I need to keep going. I can't go, steps back for you. You know what I mean? Making yourself a priority this month and not other people is very important. Because then if you start taking on other people's things, then it's like you'll start to resent them for having you sidetrack and put your best interest to the side for them. You know what I mean? And then arguments will start to occur. And then you'll wind up right back where you started. Everything, not working out the way that you wanted it to. Getting pissed off, taking it out on others maybe. Taking it out on yourself, yes. And then you're going to have to pick yourself up all over again, and then work hard to get yourself to this point all over again. And we don't want to go through this. You want to stay here. Okay? You start taking on other people's stuff, everything else is going to stop in its tracks. The creativity that you could have, the passion, the inspiration that you could have from being in this is all turned upside down. You're going to feel like everything's turned upside down. So, making yourself a priority, that's the key this month, okay? So I pulled, you saw me shuffling and stuff, and 2 cards came out from the Romance Angels Oracle card deck, and it seems like what's going on here could potentially just be in relationship with yourself, but if you are in a relationship with another person, it could be all about them. Like maybe you are making them a priority over yourself, and putting too much focus on a bunch of little things when you need to be focusing on this one thing, losing focus, and then turning it into an argument and blaming them for what you could have stopped in the beginning of the month. Blaming them for you essentially just being a pushover about it and doing what they want you to do instead of doing what you want to do. Then that resentment comes into the relationship, and we don't want that. And really, it's not their fault that you are saying yes to them and no to yourself, So we have give your relationship a chance. Work on your partnership. And then we have past life relationship. You have known each other before. So I feel like if you are in a relationship, whether you're dating or you're married in some kind of committed relationship, I feel like it's a karmic cycle here that's going on, especially since it's saying that, it's a past life relationship. Maybe it's not essentially like another lifetime, but it could have been a different chapter in this life. Maybe, this is someone that you've known since you were younger, that you are in a relationship with. That could be what this is all about. But if it's a past life relationship, it could be, this soul is coming back for you for the purpose of healing this karmic pattern that's been created in relationships for you. So this is about learning to work. Okay, so sorry, I just got this message. So it's learning to work with yourself and with others at the same time. So in the beginning, I was saying making yourself a priority, but maybe that's what the problem is putting all of your focus on yourself. And if you're in a relationship, like the scale is out of balance. You know what I mean? So putting such an extreme focus on yourself in your life and not taking into account, maybe I should be considering this other person is also a part of my life. So I should be planning my life with them in it, instead of continuing to envision myself on my own, yada, 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 which, there's nothing wrong with that. But if you are in a partnered relationship, you do have to consider the other person in the process. So, learning to say no to things that are not a priority, but also, not cutting, not like putting a wall down, being like, I'm saying no, that's it, get out of here. I've got shit I gotta do. I don't have time to deal with you. Balancing it with compassion for the other person. Maybe just offering them advice on how they can handle their own stuff instead of just flat out handling it for them. Figuring out how to balance that energy of, instead of like being all me and, you're you and deal with your stuff, learning to work together as a united force. I am working on doing this. Maybe you have some advice that I could use, or, maybe I can offer you advice on how to deal with things in your life. I'm sorry, I don't have time to take on all those things that you want me to take on, but, here's, option X, Y, and Z that you can do. Or maybe I know somebody that can help you. Thinking of different options on ways to make everything work for everyone, you know what I mean? Just not putting yourself on the back burner is important, okay? Doing it in a gentle, loving way instead of an aggressive, defensive way, okay? It's all about learning to work with others, as a way of healing yourself. So on top of all of that, I'm sure that you noticed in the beginning of my video, I started doing painting again. Obviously bringing the creativity into the Creative Gypsy. I gotta. It's been a while since I've been painting, so I wanted to make it playful and do some finger painting for everything for this month, just to take the pressure off of making things perfect and, just have fun with it. So this was the painting that I did for you, Cancer. I meditated on all of this and on your reading for this month, and just this came up in a vision for me. And now that we've done your reading, it makes more sense to me. So like the spiral is, in the spiritual world, the spiral is a very healing symbol. And seeing purple, purple is, working with the higher energies, the higher chakras, the crown chakra. So, like, opening yourself up more. And the pink for me represents compassion. It's got like this love energy with it, but it's softer, so that feels like compassion to me. So we're healing. We're doing some healing this month with compassion. Utilize bringing that more into our lives for the purpose of opening ourselves up to spirit in the process. So, Cancer is really good at hardening their shell and kind of, you are pretty good at cutting people out when they hurt you in some way as a way of defense. So when you do that, it kind of it hardens the shell. It blocks out everyone and everything, including spirit. It creates this disconnect between, you as a human and you as a soul. So understanding that, bringing that love, that gentle love energy, this compassion back into your life for yourself and for others is going to heal you in such an extreme way. And I do feel like that's very important for Cancer for this year. Having compassion for yourself, giving yourself a break. Don't put too much pressure on yourself to get everything done all at the same time. And having compassion for others and not just cutting them out and saying no flat out, get out of here kind of thing, but just, finding that healthy balance in there, between putting yourself as a priority and then also lifting others in the process, but not in a way that exhausts you or makes you bend over backwards or, puts you on the back burner. You know what I mean? I feel like I'm saying the same thing over and over again, but I just really want to make sure that you guys are getting this message.